Hello, Matt here for part 2 of my top 10 ethical concerns I have for using AI systems like ChatGPT, Dolly, Midjourney in the classroom. These ethical concerns go all the way from kindergarten in the homeschool setting, all the way to more high-level academic settings like in private universities. In this video, I'll break down the dependence on the internet connection to use this software, the lack of accountability for the model's actions, a limited ability to adapt to specific domains for many of these software programs, high computational requirements, and the overall impact they will have on education and the job market. Right now, ChatGPT and a similar software rely on a fairly stable, fairly high-speed internet connection for it to run appropriately. While this type of connection is available in most urban settings, it's definitively not true for everyone, especially in rural settings. If students are going to use this, there may become a very, very stark divide of those who have access and those that do not, just based on their availability of internet, and that will only compound the issues that are already stemming from that. If we look at a more global setting, most industrialized countries at the moment have some semblance of internet usage, some more than others. If we really dig down into individualized countries, especially in emerging markets, this becomes a much more confounded issue, and the possibility for an even greater education gap starts to really appear. The next big issue is a lack of accountability for the model's actions. If we look at one company, OpenAI, they're able to kind of get away with a lot of negative end product things by saying, hey, this is for research. However, we are using all of this research to make sure that our product doesn't do this in the future. That's only one company, though. There's already a number of institutions that have this type of software. It may not be as good right now, but they have this type of software and are intending to release it to the public with no guardrails. That means that all of the negative press that a company like OpenAI got for the really not great things that people were able to get it to write, that will just be open to the public. In a country like the US, where we have pretty rigorous First Amendment protections for the freedom of speech, it will be maybe less of an issue because freedom of speech is pretty protected. That's not true for every country, though, and it will definitively start to cause questions of, did the person make the end product, the image or text? Did the AI make that image or text? Or did the company make that image or text? And who is responsible for it if that end product breaks any laws? The next big concern is a limited ability to adapt to specific domains. This is a really kind of specialized way of saying, this is a specialized product, and we have a bad tendency of just using technology for everything, even if it wasn't intended for that. Right now, programs like ChatGPT can kind of diagnose medical issues. It can kind of act like a counselor. I find this very concerning because these are very sensitive personal issues, and they do require a professional to work through them. I am very concerned that ChatGPT will be utilized to say, hey, do this, figure out what you need to do prior to going to the hospital. Or, hey, use our new AI program because counselors are hard to find. We have a really bad tendency of using technology too quickly. The next issue could matter to you really significantly or not at all, and it boils down to high computational requirements, which means asking these type of questions, creating this type of art requires a lot of energy. If you're really on the side of global warming, this issue is going to matter to you. If not, well, okay, there's other things to concern yourself about. So this can be really big or not at all. At the end of the day, this type of software, it does require energy, and that conversation should probably be held. The last point to consider would be the overall implications for future jobs for our current students. I believe it would be wise for us to look at the Industrial Revolution, the introduction of the internet, and kind of modern day influences of social media so that we can better understand how these technological changes really impact the opportunities for our students and individuals in the current workforce. This has really big implications for a career counselor or a school counselor, individuals that are actively just now getting into the workforce, and those that are in the kind of back end that may need to shift their careers.